I am curious about the dolls. Oh. Damn. Thinking like stuffed bear, that kind of thing. Stuff. Let me just knock these out really quick. Okay, nothing there. Let's ask about Greg, because I think it'll get us more things. Looks like you got one with him. Look at that product placement.
Victim's name is Greg Sims, a junior at Western. Besides Heather, he was the only one intact.
Yeah, he was a simp.
Honestly, when I turned him over, his face was horrific. I'll never forget it. It was his expression. He looked terrified, beyond recognition. Next to him, there were a couple gash marks going into the floor. We don't know from what. Like I said, we didn't see any visible markings on him. Definitely not like the rest of the victims.
Actually, looking over the autopsy results, it says he died of massive pulmonary failure leading to heart failure.
So he asphyxiated? Couldn't breathe?
Yeah, but no indication of strangling was found on him or anything restricting his airflow.
So he choked to death on nothing. How's that possible?
I don't know.
Magic, obviously.
You said he looked scared?
It was his expression. Can you die from being scared?
Yeah. I believe the death would technically be cardiac arrest. Very, very, very difficult to pull off. That would have to be like top tier fucking jump scare shit. And you might have to have like a heart condition to begin with, perhaps.
Yeah, the house wasn't ideal, but it was a good location, close to downtown, and we honestly didn't care that it wasn't that nice. We did find a dead animal in the basement.
Dead animal?
Yeah, the guys took care of it. It was right after we moved in. We were looking around when we opened the door to the basement and it stunk. Craig pushed me in, closed the door, and held it shut and locked. He thought it was funny. I thought I was going to faint from the smell. I was banging on the door, but they didn't open it. There was definitely something dead down there. The whole basement was creepy.
Do you remember what it was? The animal?
A dog,
No.
would.
I think Brian said it was a small thing, like a possum or a squirrel.
Oh.
I think he said he couldn't tell. Obviously, it had died a little while ago.
Do you remember what happened to it? I mean, its body?
No, I think Brian threw it away.
Could it have been a dog?
I don't know. Maybe? I don't want to think about it. I blocked out most of my memory about it. The basement was just so creepy.
Interesting. So she's not able to tell us exactly what it was. We do know that there was supposed to be a dead dog involved in this. All she knows is it was something small. Now, if we recall, this animal looks pretty small. Does it not? Barely bigger than a cat. So if you were in a dark area and you just saw, a dead animal, this could maybe have been it. Yeah, I need to add basement to the keywords so we don't forget that. Because we're definitely onto something there. Next one.
Well, Brian and I had our past. Alana was Brian's girlfriend now. But Greg and Emily really held everyone together. Greg was a jokester, a good friend, someone who could always make you laugh.
Oh, and actually, before I let it keep going, another thought is they pulled a prank on her, essentially. They kind of locked her in that basement for a while, just as a haha joke. So she could have a motive to get back at them, so to speak. Maybe a prank gone wrong equals everybody died. Maybe through the result of an explosion or something. Just pitching ideas. Let me rewind it just a hair.
A good friend, someone who could always make you laugh. We've been friends ever since freshman year. He had this really infectious, really deep, a belly laugh that would get everyone laughing with him.
Oh.
Sounded kind of funny, actually. I one time got really sick sophomore year and was in bed for a few days, like over a week. And he came by dressed as someone from my favorite cartoon growing up to cheer me up.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually went out, rented the costume, memorized the lines, and then came by and did this funny part from the movie and changed it up too. It was hilarious. It was just what I needed.
I'm Captain Planet.
Did Greg ever do anything to piss you off? Make you mad? Did you guys ever get into an argument?
Well, he did lock her in that
No.
basement.
And Emily?
Emily
No,
wants to
I
play
don't
too.
think so.
You don't think so?
No, not that I remember.
Were you ever jealous of their relationship? Or Brian and Alana's?
No?
And you had no problem coming out here to spend the summer with your ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend?
No, we were all friends. Really, really close friends. Emily was my best friend. I was excited to spend the summer out here.
Sorry, I was just rebooting my brain. Felt like some of the cogwheels weren't rotating all the way. Firing up the remaining pistons. Yeah. Thermal throttling down. Let's... Let's look at basement. I'm also thinking the word... I'll just pop it here. Crank. 'Cause that might have something to do with stuff as well. Like, there's a lot of Ruth videos we still don't have.
Do you have any idea where this came from?
eBay.
Ew, is that a tooth?
Etsy.
Yeah, appears so. It was wrapped in a cloth and tied with a string. We found it in a divot in the wall in the basement.
Wow, no.
It's human.
How do you know it's human and you haven't even done a DNA analysis? What the fuck? At least now they're showing us the tooth. What is this? Yeah, I mean, that's a tooth. Don't have much more to say on that.
It was in a pretty noticeable spot, in the middle of the wall in the basement. Don't think Alana's parents would have left it there. Why do you think it was there?
I don't know. The house was weird.
Let me try again.
It's a weird question.
I think this sort of discovery and the location is often associated with voodoo magic.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of your friends into voodoo?
You are, because you make dolls.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't think so either.
Are you a
You seem
shaman?
like pretty normal kids. And even if you were getting a little carried away that day, that stuff is all made up. It doesn't work. It's just not every day that we find something like this.
Trying to invoke a response.
No, it's not.
Guess the pizza's ready. I'm assuming that was the microwave going off. She looks disturbed. They're on to me. Better have not shown them that doll.
I don't think we have much more left. We found Alana's neighbor and are about to talk to her just to get some of the details you mentioned on paper. Since she lives right next door, but nothing you need to think about.
Are we going to the bar? Catch her act? She works at the bar where you were that night. Probably the same person you saw singing that night.
Oh, the bar. Oh. The final character... Is it the musician? Alana's neighbor, Ruth. Wait, what are you mentioning that for? I'm gonna keep searching. Oh, wait. So we have more interesting terms, but before I add more, I think we'll unlock the last one so that when we do search terms, it'll be able to give us all 5 character videos and hopefully reduce any potential redundancies. I think the more of these we can uncover, the better. I think it has to be someone new. Natalie. Who's Natalie? Crap, I didn't put that in my notes. Well, I guess we'll know in a moment if we... I think she was the musician in the bar. Natalie Bergstrom.
Good evening, officers.
Same day.
I hope this won't take long. As you know, Rick, I'm going to be seen at the club again in a few hours.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be live streaming.
Well, we just need to ask you a few questions.
I hate her already.
As you know, there have been a set of murders at the house next to yours. We now have all of our main suspects in custody for questioning here.
Oh, she
I'm a
is the...
suspect.
As someone connected to the victim's family who lives on the same street, you're on the list for now.
Just answer a few questions so we can scratch you off.
So let's get started. To confirm, you live on 1st Avenue East.
Yes, I live on First. I have lived there my whole life. My house has been in the family for quite some time. You know, I
would like
figure
to
you
speak
guys
to your
would have the
manager.
records of who owned what in this town.
We're just going to ask some basic questions to get the facts down, to confirm some
Okay,
things
please.
first.
Continue.
She's got
With
a
your
bit
basic
of an
questions.
attitude.
Right. So you grew up in this town, went to school here, work here?
Yep. Never managed to leave.
What do you consider your occupation then?
I don't need
Fluffer.
to work at present. My late husband left me the appropriate compensation, and a few nights a week I seen downtown, you know, for pleasure.
So you consider yourself an artist type then?
Does this ordeal really need to be recorded?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, well, I just don't want to be recorded. I don't have to tell you why, but it's public record and it lasts forever. I just don't like it.
Karen,
Unfortunately, there's nothing we
Karen,
can
no.
do there. We can have someone go over our data retention policies if you'd like.
Whatever, continue.
So here's one of the things is nothing good comes from having that attitude problem. The more you obstruct the process, the longer this is going to take. You are not doing yourself a favor. And no, you don't know your rights. Anybody that says, I know my rights, does not. She's going to be a thorn in my side. That's all of our suspects. The press really had a field day with her when the case was in the media. Watch out with her. It's hard to tell fact from fiction from the things she says. Gonna have no problem with that. I see right through her. I've already profiled her. This is gonna be easy. I mean, actually sit through it. That's the challenge.
And you were contacted about the incident the other night on October 30th. The students by our department, right?
Well, I understand there was some deaths at the house nearby, yes, but I haven't heard much of anything else besides that. I only know that they were inflicted by someone else. Killed most likely, probably someone trying to rob them. Isn't that the extent of the crime here? And drunk hillbillies?
You're not
I deal
supposed
with
to be
all
asking the
time at
questions
club.
here.
Honestly, I never met any of these kids before besides the girl Alana. Her parents have owned that house for several years at their vacation property. Isn't it a shame about what happened to them? Always terrible when young people lose their lives. Don't get me wrong, right?
Wow, you are so fake. Holy shit. I can literally see right through. It's... Ugh.
What if I told you they were at the bar that you performed at 2 nights ago on the night of their deaths?
It makes no difference to me. A lot of people come to see me perform. Sorry if that's blunt, but that just has no bearing on me.
You didn't see them yourself? You didn't talk to them?
No. And it was a very busy night for me with the festival and performing my act.
But you do know one of the girls who died, Alana.
Well, yeah, I know her. Had seen her occasionally in the past in the neighborhood. I know her parents well.
Did you say hello that night?
No, I don't remember them being there.
Do you get along with her parents?
Yes, mostly, I suppose.
She should be given a pair of sunglasses. That's the only thing missing. You know, some nice big pretentious fucking sunglasses and shit.
And you're not upset?
Upset?
I do too.
About what?
The necklace.
You don't seem very upset that your friend's daughter has died.
Things like this happen, though. That's just my own view on life. Everyone's time comes to an end at some point. I don't know her that well either. There's no crime in that, right? By the way, do you have any cigarettes? Isn't that like a thing, like in films, smoking and being interrogated? This whole setup is all wrong. But I could use a cigarette.
No, we don't smoke in here. That's the movies.
Right, just help us out. Okay? Is there anyone you can think of who could have done this? The neighborhood seems so safe, and you've lived there for a long time, right? We checked our records, and you haven't had any break-ins or any real crime in your neighborhood or reported on your street really in years. Do you know of any problems, potential motives, something we might not know about?
Whoa. Hi, it's the Chief. Looks like you're acquainted with the database and you've unlocked all of the suspects in this case. Good job. One thing to note is the database has a proprietary feature that lets you accuse anyone or more of the suspects. It's the flashing A button at the top of the screen. We're granting access to this feature from here on out. That sounds like a dangerous feature. Easily abused. You've literally just given matches to a kid holding a bunch of firecrackers. We trust that you'll only use it when you feel ready to. It puts out an APB for the marshals to arrest whoever you choose, so choose wisely. I just accuse all of them. Like, done. The whole department in town are counting on you to get this right. Everyone's been itching for a conviction from the start. Well, that's good. At least I was afraid that it was going to hit like some, like a time limit point where once you've, let's say, watched 100 videos out of the, say, 200 total, when you hit that point, the game goes, okay, you've got a few more moments before you got to make a decision. I hope that does not happen. Because I do really want to hunt down the rest of these videos. This is fucking awesome. Natalie, not so awesome. But... so we're not using this right now until I have an idea. And I have a snagging suspicion that it's more than one person involved. Especially, you know, when I played The Visitor. It gives you that sort of, we're not just talking about one bad apple, it could be more, all of them probably fucking know. It could be every single one of them was in on it for some reason. But we still have a whole lot more to dig up. And it is interesting that just after we get this, it unlocked, we got that shortly after they gave us Natalie. She could be the red herring. Because very unlikable character, and if you let your feelings speak, you'd be like, yeah, I don't like you, boom, guilty. So we're not gonna let that fool us. So I am with you, Anemone. I am curious as to what that necklace is. Is it, like at first I thought maybe it was a key or a dog whistle. Maybe it's like a vial, or maybe it's a talisman, charm, voodoo, magic bullshit. Who knows? But maybe we can find out. So what's the deal with that thing on your neck?
You have a good eye. My necklace pendant is a pendulum. It helps me keep
Pendulum?
grounded and connected to the earth and others around me.
Oh, God.
I acquired it here in town a long time ago. Actually, in my neighbor's store when I was a teenager. Funny, it hasn't changed much.
Does it do anything?
It's just a stone, right?
It kind of tickles my nipples when I
Why,
sway back and forth.
No reason. It looks pretty.
So you don't share any of the similar beliefs as your neighbors? Remember, you're under oath.
Yeah, bitch, you're
I
under.
remember.
Details matter. Well, I'm all about attention to detail. Don't ask any of my viewers because they may not agree, but... So we got a low-res image. It's one of those energy time crystals. With some kind of stone. So it's like two separate objects, maybe? Like a stone or a rock plus a crystal. All held together with a couple paper clips bent around them. Or is it a tooth? You think it might be a tooth? Maybe. Especially if it's been like polished or something to make it not look so obvious. It does appear, well, if you stare at it hard enough, you start to see a face. Like that's the little smiley, that's one of the eyes, this is the nose. Enjoy on seeing that. But like the upper part of it looks a different shade from the lower part. Maybe. Because if we look at just the tooth here, that is a very, very similar shape. As if this was the upper part. And the root, the part that would be in the gum, or whatever, I'm not a dentist. Maybe it's been like polished out and, you know, made to look like a stone or something. That is possible. Well, let's give it a shot. First off, let's see what the tooth brings up. Nothing new, okay. We'll go with next stone. Leave no stone unturned. Next, crystal. Damn. Or no, she did say it was a pendulum, right? Tooth slash teeth. I mean, it is possible that, teeth might... No. Let me see what she said, because I have to reconsult this.
You have a good eye. My necklace pendant is a
It's my necklace pendant. So maybe pendant, not talisman, is a pendulum.
pendulum. It helps me keep
Grounded and connected to the earth and others around me. I acquired it in town. She probably acquired it from Ruth. However, converting that into a search term based on limited tags would make this tricky. Fuck. Ooh, she's a tough cookie. Damn. Hold on, I'm gonna take one more look at this really quick. There's no reason to rush this, right? Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Kind of stopped thinking about it that way, but yeah. Because that might... Yup. See? You're good at this, too. I believed in you. There's more to you than just, you know, one-line zingers and shit. You're a go-getter.
Ruth?
Thinker.
Yeah, she owns a circle store. It's popular among those who are interested in spiritual alignment, if you know what I mean.
She says she knows about your feelings towards Alana's father.
She said that?
What a
Yeah.
bitch.
Described as commingling.
Commingling.
Any idea what that means?
It's nothing serious, just an affair.
An affair
An
the whole
affair?
town is talking about?
The whole town is not talking. And never mind her. She's crazy. She's the one who thinks her dog's still alive, right? I saw her carrying around an empty leash and talking to it once. I don't trust anything she says.
fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Alana? Yeah, alright, we'll do Alana next and see, because I don't think I ever searched her or the other one. We still have another one to look at. Emily. I don't know if we even looked Emily up. But now that we should have access to all the suspects, we should be able to get any and all the results. So a lot of them might be terms I've searched before and forgotten about, but we only had like 1 or 2 people. We still have this, so... I fucking knew it. Ruth's dog is dead. It's probably what was in the basement. Dead. Oh, this just got interesting.
I did go into her shop for a reading once a few years ago with some girlfriends for a laugh.
A psychic reading?
Yeah, she's got stuff to make noise in the room, sounds, lights, the whole thing. I went in high school once too. Pretty much the same setup back then as it is now. I guess it's somewhat fun once in theory, or when you're with your friends. Anyway, we went in a year or 2 ago, and she did her whole routine for us, the whole spiel. We all found it quite funny, but we had come from a happy hour. I think she said I was going to meet my soulmate soon. I just laughed at the time.
Yeah, instead, I got to meet some officers. Then I hit them hard with my attitude. They were not impressed. But did before I do that, did I understand that correctly, that she had an affair? Or is it just like a don't meddle in my affairs kind of affair? Hello, Izzy Mum. Yeah. That's the typical Karen. Well, not even Karen. I don't know why I'm so fucking hung up on that term, but like people that have like that attitude, like you got nothing on me, I know my rights, always looking to the left or the right, never at whoever you're talking to. I have a bad habit of doing that in real life just because I'm not good at eye contact for some reason. I have some kind of weird subversion and I'm always like looking that way and shit. We've been interrogating people, or well, watching videos of people being interrogated. If I was interrogating, this would just be like fucking waterboarding and shit, and that would be less fun for the family, I think. More fun for me.
What was your relationship like with the Morgans?
I was close to the parents, Craig's parents, Alana's grandparents, before they passed on. I get along great with Craig and Alana and his current wife.
Current wife?
Claire?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they're fine. They come and stay for a weekend or week here and there, and that's about it. It's their vacation home now. Their main residence is back in the city. But I'm not sure how often they'll come here in the future.
I couldn't imagine living in a place where something like that happened to my family.
Yes, that. And they had been fighting recently also.
Things weren't going well with them.
No, sadly not.
Anything you can help us with?
No.
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but that hussy down the block seemed to spend an awful amount of time there when Mrs. Morgan was away.
So you think they were commingling?
Perhaps.
And this is who?
I don't know
Natalie
that word.
Bergstrom, your neighbor.
Yes, we
Co-mingling,
go way
maybe?
back. So, you do know.
Well, we hear things time to time.
You know, our families were good friends in the past. First one's on the land, but only she survived, and everyone in the neighborhood knows what she gets up to. Her husband died and left her considerably more well off, so she thinks she can do as she pleases.
We should ask
I
about that.
tried to stay away from all the details, but I know how people like to gossip.
Well, let's see if we can get someone to find Natalie Bergstrom. Might have some additional info.
That was when they learned about the affair. Through Ruth's testimony. I want to know more about not just the affair, but affair, husband. Is it inheritance or is it inheritance? That's what you get for using notes or notepad. I was listening to the audio. I wonder if they're using like subliminal, either binaural beats. Well, yeah, binaural beats. I'm not using a headset, so I can't experience it if it is. Binaural is you play like a sine wave, and in each ear it's shifted by a certain amount, and so you get two different shifts in the same sound, and your brain connects them together, and it is believed to have effects on the brain.
I only met Alana last year when she started dating Brian. We weren't really close friends, but we had been getting closer. We actually had a class together and shared notes. She seemed like she really liked Brian, and I think he liked her. They seemed to get along really well. In terms of our friendship, we liked different things, but still got along. And I think it helped the friendship. So I'm going to miss her.
Yeah, because this is still, we're dealing with Alana. Oh boy, let's hear what you have to say.
So not much trouble in the neighborhood then, that you know of, while you live there?
No, not much trouble. The neighborhood's pretty good. At least we put on the happy front.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Nobody's perfect, and some hide it better than others. I mean, the people's picket fences aren't so white and perfect when you take a closer look.
Seems like you know a lot about the neighborhood and your neighbors.
Well, I'm on the city council, run the book club. I meet a lot of important people in town, and know almost all the neighbors.
Yeah. How did you get on the city council?
You don't know how that works.
I asked to speak
in
to their
your
manager.
position? I was elected.
Did you run against anyone?
No, and that's not the point. Nobody would have beaten me.
How about crime? We don't have a lot of reports of being called out to your particular street, but would you say it's pretty safe?
Oh yeah, very safe. Of course, Alana has had her troubles growing up. Other than that, it's fine.
Troubles with Alana?
Well, mostly kid stuff, delinquency, fights, shoplifting, that sort of stuff.
Fights and shoplifting? Really? Do we have any record of that?
Not that I know of.
She seemed like a normal girl.
Well, I know her father tried to raise her right with his military background, but maybe it's something about this town. Makes kids more tough than city suburbs. Maybe it's how remote we are once you go out 10 miles in any direction.
No, it's kind of the other way though.
Actually, in terms of records, we just have the neighborhood crime report dating back the past 50 years. It's squeaky clean. Only 2 break-ins in the 50s where collectibles were stolen with a note, religious. But all the paperwork from before the 90s was scanned in and records weren't really checked for accuracy.
What else?
That's it. Oh, well, actually, we had 1 report of suspicious snooping a year ago.
Snooping.
2 or 3 reports for 6 decades. Really?
Yeah, maybe a glitch in the database?
Wait a minute.
I can check again a different way. Maybe it's connected to these power issues we've been having or something else.
Something don't sound right. I still have one more here, but yeah, I think we need to go back and look at military options again. As well as fights and snooping, shoplifting. Yeah, she's fiddling with it constantly. Clearly she's trying to cast a spell. Because she's a witch. Same with Heather, she's a witch. Ruth. The Queen Bee. this is what? Incident, larceny, collectibles, religious. Larceny. Victim reported awakening to find the back door open at 223 First Avenue. Living room was ransacked, and wait, what was the date on this? 10/17/55? Was it 1955? Hot damn. Living room was ransacked and items valued at $22 were missing. Victim suspects suspicious man and woman seen earlier that day in town. Suspect description taken and processed. Descending or described, disseminated among whatever. They did stuff. Now, 223. I don't think that's the murder house, is it? This is 221. Who was 223? Is it the neighbor? Description of, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm trying to think, like, how do house numbers work? Because it's not sequential in increments of one, is it? It's every other number? So, like, all evens is on one side of the road and all odds are on the other? Is that how houses work? Because I can't pull up Google Maps because it'll just be like, this is where you live. Because if it was her house, Miss Pretentious, whatever we want to call her, Natalie. Okay, so it is. So it is the adjacent neighbor house, so it must have been Natalie's house from 100 million years ago. Here comes the spooky music. Using this to see, yeah, 12, so setting is 2012. So I'm assuming that 55 is 1955. So I don't think she would have been in that house at that time. That's over 50 years. She doesn't look older than 50 or any of that. She's in that, like, 20s, 30s, maybe. If she's really good at makeup, maybe 40. Alright, so which way should we go? They're all witches. Oh, I forgot to... We got this.
What would your life be like with Alana's father, Craig, on your own? Just the two of you. Have you ever wondered?
I don't know. I suppose we go together pretty well, in a kind of Cleopatra, Mark Antony kind of way. Me and my various accolades, his as well. Some things just make sense like that.
Too bad. Life gets in the way, right?
Yes, life. Some things
And
just
his
take
wife
time and effort.
getting in my
If
way.
it's meant to be, though,
My
it'll
affair.
happen.
You can tell I don't like that particular profile. Yeah, I think Craig is definitely the next thing to hit up. Starting right now. Alright, Craig, lover boy. What have you done? Let's hear it from Ruth's mouth first.
What? You don't know? I thought officers in your profession were meant to have their ear to the ground, be abreast of what is happening
No,
in
it's
their
not
communities.
good for the back.
Well, no surprise here. Natalie had a tryst with her neighbor, Craig. Apparently, Mrs. Morgan and her had been feuding for decades, ever since going to school together. These sort of competitions between women can really get out of hand.
Well, what else do you know about the affair?
Not much else to tell. It had been going on for years. It was quite obvious to most.
How so?
Well, I don't know. It was their looks. No, there was obviously something going on.
No other proof?
Well, no. Besides seeing her come and go to the house. But everyone knew. It's common knowledge. Just last week I saw her
What are
walking
your
over
names?
carrying what looked like cookies.
Oh, no.
Wait, what was that about cookies?
What?
Why are you bringing up earrings? Did you see something I did not? I just wanted that last bit of... Oh! Oh! You and your good eyes. Holy shit. You're right, though. Well, that's not what I was looking for. And I guess, like, it gave us a gimme as well. Like, it literally zoomed in right there, so... Technically, it's not that you were great, I just suck ass. And good eye, though. Besides seeing her come and go to the house, but everyone knew it's common knowledge. Just last week, I saw her walking over, carrying what looked like cookies. Oh no. Cookies, or maybe a tin container with a bomb? Cookies. Yeah, we'll do the earring thing. I think that's a good idea. But we got a lot of... well, two to see. With everyone's favorite, Natalie.
When did your relationship with Alana's father begin?
We grew up here in the area. He lived on another street at the time with his parents. Craig and I had been high school sweethearts, but his wife, who shall remain nameless, was always on the sidelines, always there. He moved away after that. He went to school out east, then joined the military. Once he became a cadet, I never saw him again. I had forgotten about him until I heard that he was inheriting the house from his grandparents who passed away.
When was this?
Probably about 6 years ago. He moved in, and that's when I finally met his family. Didn't even know he was married. We began seeing more and more of each other, as neighbors do.
I don't see my neighbors like you see your neighbors.
Neither do I.
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply there. Some people choose the family route, others like to make their own decisions.
And the rest of us, we're just sluts. I'm gonna add that as well. A wife who shall remain nameless. We haven't gone that route yet. In fact, generic wife and husband. Why do I lean... Who do I lean towards at the moment? Actually, I don't have anyone I am accusing yet. None of it is conclusive enough from what I've seen so far. And the order of presentation is definitely interesting, since it really looked as, right from the beginning, it was setting up Caleb as the perpetrator, and then I was dealing with like the idea, like, well, maybe he's got a brother that looks the same, who's accusing him if they know it's him and it's not some other variable, and so on. Colton is probably the least likely, the way they're presenting it. I didn't even realize he was a suspect until kind of the way it was setting it up started making sense. He would probably be the most likely candidate if the glitching thing was related to the rest, because there was signs of something going on with the system, their servers, and this database. That would have to be an inside job. So the likelihood that Colton has some relevance to this is pretty high. Ruth? Probably the least likely, although probably the most interesting. One, I still need to ask about that dog stuff, because that, I freaking knew it, and that's going to tie in. But she's also the most likely to be the type that knows everything going on, and is more just, not necessarily puppet master, but rather is just, I see everything. You know, that lady that's always like looking through the window shade. I'm thinking the Cinnamon Toast Crunch commercial, where it's like, not even this mom who knows everything on the streets knows why kids love the Cinnamon Toast flavor of Crunch, or not a sponsor. Heather, I'd be, if I didn't know anything else, would probably be really high up on there. She was there at the time. she did say there was a reason, like they locked her in the basement, so she probably has a motive, and there might be a lot more to it as well. We don't have DNA information on blood types yet. That was going to be a big deal. However, Heather is the one they pulled the skin samples from under her nails, right? When they were taking her to the ER. So, regardless of the results there, may not help understand the culprit per se either, other than we can at least believe that Heather did not attack or scratch up Caleb in self-defense or something along those lines, because his blood type, we do know it's AB positive, not AB negative. That doesn't absolve anyone from anything yet, though. And Natalie, I think she was just thrown in as the wild card emotion, let people get, introduce a character that you would love to hate. Just, like the most punchable face kind of thing. So, I don't have enough information yet, but I'm willing to bet we're just a handful of videos away before a couple things start clicking, and I would not be surprised if every single one of them was somehow linked. So I'm willing to entertain that possibility, where maybe nobody is innocent. Because I don't think it's going to be a case of one person. I think it's going to have to be at least 2 people involved or more. And you also have to be careful with that, because you can't always say, well, person A killed person B, so person A is guilty. Now person C is the one that sold them the gun that they used to kill. Does that person C, is he an accomplice? Not likely. If they were present, or something more to it than that, then maybe. So it's you gotta be careful about that as well. So I don't have a definitive anything yet. I know who I hate the most and who I like the most, but oddly enough, we have the most videos with Lieutenant Colton, and yet he's the one I feel I know kind of the least, although we still have a lot to do with these two. I want more with Ruth, because she's the most interesting one to me. If they found the dog, maybe they got Ruth on a rampage. Maybe, but I don't know. It's because she might have been, that dog could have possibly been killed a long time ago. If they saw the body of the animal in the house, if it's the one in the basement that Heather was talking about, a corpse doesn't just start stinking and rotting. If you've ever smelled a dead animal, it's intense, but it doesn't happen over one day or even 2 days. It would have had to have happened a good while ago, so she would have been strolling, living in La La Fantasy Land for a long time. Could have been there for weeks. Yeah, and she does think it's alive, or at least she's claiming it's alive, because she hasn't been challenged on that yet. Although I had the inkling to begin with, it's there was a dead dog, and then they give us a character who was walking her dog. But I think the dog thing may be unrelated to the actual murders as well. It's probably happened at a different point in time, which probably adds a whole different layer to this. And hopefully we get to find out what that is. Maybe the guilty is the ghost of her dog. Probably not. And the other thing I'm interested in is Heather, whose hobbies include sewing dolls. Hello, voodoo, magic. But we can't let the voodoo magic woo-woo paste shit get in the way of our rationale either. So, Like, I don't think he cast a spell on me or she cast a spell on me is gonna hold up in the courts. Like, we need something else to go off of. So it's like I was talking about it earlier, is even if there is occults and weird shit, it's probably not that specifically, but rather that could be used as a linking mechanism that connects person A to person B to person C. And that is explainable for maybe the motives and so on and so on. So let's keep going.
So you start seeing each other. You live on the same street. When does the wife find out?
I'm not concerned about what she knows.
Well, I've always found if some people know, everyone knows.
I can imagine it being hard to keep a big secret like that from your spouse.
Not really getting a sense Natalie cares too much here, Rick, about their feelings. And there was the blow up with his wife, about cookies, of course.
Of course.
The cookies.
Oh, I care deeply about their feelings. I hope Craig is okay.
Fuck that. Like, you hope Craig is okay, my ass. I probably wish he was dead so that you wouldn't have to deal with any more of this. The jig is up. We watch the damn videos instead of talking. I'm allowed to conjecture. That's part of the game. Being able to sit here and think out loud for a little bit before you might potentially have all the answers, presented on a plate. Because I can only do this once. After we finish this game, the notion of not having all those variables... I care about their feelings too, though. And I care about the cookies so much that I even put it in my notes. Alright. Earrings... I think, yeah, let's go with the earring thing. Let's see what's... Oh. Wait. Oops. Nothing. Huh. Let me see here. What's that on your ear? Nope. Okay. Let's go down the route of voodoo. What is voodoo anyway? Oh, nope. Nothing to do there. I'm just gonna type in magic and maybe some of the other terms we had, just because I don't know if the new ones will have any relation. I guess not. I'm curious. Damn, nothing. I just want to see if wife and husband, nothing. Well, this database sucks. Why not just give me all the videos and let me access them? Maybe like a MySQL database. Just write a quick script to query the... Did I search all the names again? No, I have not. We've only done a couple. It will definitely a good idea though. But it's like we still have a couple cool terms, right? Husband, wife, earrings, cookies, and some of these things before we go down all the names, but we'll have to...
You were married once before?
Yeah, unfortunately.
To an Anthony Valentine.
That's right.
Anthony.
How long were you married for?
7 years.
7 years.
Mine lasted 3.
I guess there are exceptions to the rule.
Wait, what was that?
7 years.
Oh, mine lasted 3.
I guess there are exceptions to the rule.
What rule?
The 7-year itch.
Your husband died, though.
Oh, that's herpes.
What did he die of?
Tony died of a long-term illness.
What sort of an illness?
Just general illness, malaise. He was constantly sick.
Please.
What was the cause of death? I can look this up too, but it would just be easier if you told me.
Pneumonia.
In your house?
No, he had rented an apartment here downtown.
Tell me more.
Not much to tell, you know.
Come
Pneumonia.
on, Alan. You're under oath now.
So he asphyxiated.
It's like pulling teeth.
Funny you should say that. He was a dentist. Like I said, not much to tell. He was from upstate New York. I was considerably younger. We were very unhappy, and then it ended. What else would you like to know about him?
Not much, I guess.
bitch-ass dead husband is a dentist. That's important. Dentist. Which means he failed pre-med. Dentist joke. Like, what do they call doctors that fail medical school? Dentists. Ooh. Dentistry. You know, the art of being a dentist. Nope. He was actually an oral surgeon. AKA the upscale dentist. Like, they get to do the cool shit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to search his name instead. I was really hoping I could have done it this way, though. That would have been... Tell me more about your dead husband. Oh. He's not in our database. His last name was Valentine. Aw. Weird. Oh, I guess we got that result. How about these cookies? It got mentioned twice now in 2 different interviews, or interrogations. Cookies. 3 videos. Yeah, but he would be in here not because of whether he's alive or dead or anything, but like if it was brought up, like surely it should have brought up the videos where his name came up. I thought that was the idea between like how this search engine was supposed to work. Like the fact that she mentioned Anthony or dentist should have given us the videos that had that, no? It's very limited system.
The neighbor said she saw you entering the house last week while Mr. and Miss Morgan were still in town.
Oh, what did Ruth say then?
What was that about?
I'm not sure how that's connected to your investigation.
Wait, what was the very, very, very first line?
The neighbor said she saw you entering the house last
Entering
week
the house.
while Mr. and Miss Morgan were still in town.
Well, they were still in
Oh,
town.
what did Ruth say then?
What was that about?
I'm not sure how that's connected to your investigation. Is she sure it was me? I mean, how do you know someone is actually them?
I know, right?
It's advisable for you to tell us the truth, and the whole truth at this point, for once.
Well, if you must know, I was welcoming them to town. They're not always there. Thought I'd come over and deliver a welcome gift.
A welcome gift? Like a basket of something?
Cookies.
Yes.
Laced
Right.
with something.
How did that go?
Well, it could have been better. I had no idea some of them, Claire and Alana, were allergic to eating nuts. Turns out only Mr. Morgan was able to enjoy them.
You bake cookies for a lot of people in this town? I don't think Rick or I have ever received any.
No?
Have you, Rick?
No?
Well, I don't do that often, no.
She even gave
only
me
when I'm in the
cookies.
mood for certain people.
For... Never mind. Okay. Was that the last time you saw them?
Yes.
So you stopped by to drop the cookies off, then what happens?
Well, I didn't stay long. They were less than appreciative. Craig was, but not Claire or Alana.
How come?
I don't know. I came in, dropped them off, and Mrs. Morgan, Claire, and I exchanged unpleasantries. So I left.
So Alana was one of the victims. Oh, Woodwind's going to sleep. I didn't even know you were here. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the problem. When no one talks, like I don't even know you're here. I feel bad now. Either way, have a good night, my friend. Or maybe you already went to sleep, I don't know. So Alana was one of the victims. Claire was her mother. What's-his-face was the father. Rick? Rick. I don't know what the fuck Rick is. I thought, like, some of their jokes when they were using Rick was like some Rick and Morty reference or something. I don't know. You miss out on the poor guilty ones. Oh, Rick's the other cop. I mean, always worth a shot. Let's just add his name in here so I can forget about it when I add more shit and it scrolls off.
Tell us more about these unpleasantries, as you call them.
I arrived at their house, happy to be bringing my neighbors
Poison
to my
is
favorite
another
people in
idea.
the whole world, freshly baked cookies, and another gift. Welcoming them back from their journeys, Craig's childhood home, immediately when the door opened, I heard someone say, "Oh great, another room."
Damn that Necroxix. He's a bitch. Oh, that really caught me off guard. Thank you for the subscription. Yeah, there's not a notices. What the hell just happened? Zelphos is gifting 1 tier 1 sub to the community. They've gifted a total of 2 in the channel. Zelphos is paying forward the gift they got to Fat Cat. Zelphos' gift shared rewards to 5 others in chat. Gifted a tier 1 sub to Zed the Dragon. Subscribe for 2 months. That was a whole lot just happened in the blink of an eye. Totally freaking caught me off guard. What is this first icon? What the heck? Founder badge. Neato.